It can be difficult for friends and work colleagues to accept the fact that we've had a cancer diagnosis, and it's difficult for them to know how to treat us afterwards. How can we help them?
I think communication is so important, but it can be so difficult for some people. And I think what's really important to mention here is family culture, because all families have different belief systems. For example, I suppose I might invite you to say even, and myself, are you a family that are comfortable with talking about feelings and showing emotions and showing your vulnerability? Or maybe another family will have a very different way, and they might be very private. Some of the messages that you've kind of grown up with, it might be that perhaps showing vulnerability might be seen as a weakness. And you need to be seen as coping. So those things can come into play, and they can hinder us sometimes, because it doesn't mean we are weak.
Right.
It's just our messages. So again, it's kind of telling ourselves that sometimes, because that can stop us from asking for support or accepting it. So again, what I would say is communication is really important, because just as you will have all these different bits around your family culture, so will your friends and family. So they may not want to ask you, So again, I really think often it's communicating, telling people what you need. Okay, if it's going back to work, what would it be like to find somebody at work that you could actually share? Perhaps if you don't want to talk about your cancer diagnosis, if it's a place where you want to start to get back to some normality, who could you tell so that they could pass that on to everybody else? Because not everybody will know how to deal with it. Cancer is an uncomfortable word for many people. And for some people, it hasn't come into their environment. So it can be something that they're not sure how to deal with, what to say. So again, very much about telling them what you need if you can. And if it is something that you're not comfortable with, perhaps it is just a message that perhaps in your family it's not something that you would normally do.
So, for example, if somebody phoned up and said, come out for an evening out, and you weren't feeling well or you were feeling very tired, how could you make them understand that without sounding like a party pooper?
Again, it does very much come down to the individual and what that means to you. What would that say about you if you did do that? Would that say, I'm just wondering what that would say to you. Some people would find that easy, other people would find that difficult. And again, it comes back to how we grow up, the messages we receive around everything, what we see and hear. So again, what I would say is tell your friends. Try to tell your friends and family. Keep the communication open. Even if you use humour. Humour is a great way of diluting things if it's easier to manage and get your voice across. So, don't forget, if they love you, they'll want what's right for you.